physical sheer force of will from guys like Lou and Kenrich and many others as well. What did you see in that regard?
Yeah, they were great. Obviously that's high minutes in a game, double overtime. They just great grit, great will. Got competitive guys, that rise to the level of the game, win or lose. I thought that was on display tonight.
Mark, the defense down the stretch in the second half, especially that second overtime, felt wildly different from what we watched for most of that first half. Just what you see change, and I guess what stood out to you, maybe certain plays, anything like that down the stretch?
Yeah, credit Toronto with the way they started the game. I thought they were just on the gas. They played with way more force than we did on both ends of the floor, and had us on our heels for much of the first half. We got that corrected at halftime, and I actually thought in the first overtime we kind of had we regressed a little bit there on the defensive end, and then in the second overtime our defense was tight, and the guys did a great job of adjusting in game, problem solving together on both ends of the floor. The defensive physicality was one example, and then the attacks of the offense was another.
Yeah, and you shoot 63 threes in this game. You shoot only 8 free throws. Obviously double OT. Did this game feel as weird as it was happening as it ended up being?
Well, the 8 free throws, come on. I was not happy with that and voiced that. But, the threes, it's like great if they're going to be open. I was impressed with our guys' confidence stepping into those shots. If a team's going to, volunteer to the ball like that and give us, open driving lanes and let good decision makers play out of advantages and then good confident shooters shoot open shots, then we're happy with that. So, let's keep it coming, if they're open like that.
What did you think of just all that Josh did and the way he played off the ball and when he had the ball and just his game in general? Yeah,
I thought he played with great intensity tonight, especially on the defensive end of the floor and on the glass. I thought he did a great job. From a physical standpoint, he had different matchups throughout the night and did a nice job on that end. And then offensively, I thought played with great decisiveness, in his shooting and also his driving, his movement off the ball. I thought he had a great balance tonight.
And when you talk about the way they played Shea, it's harder to do with Dub on the floor, and they could do. You talked about wondering how teams were going to approach that, but you talk about the other guys playing off it. But what does it tell you about him and the way he played to take that defense and figure it out?
I thought he figured out as the game went on, and so did we. I thought we were a little, he held it a little long in the first half, and then when it came out, the other guys I thought were a little indecisive on a couple plays. And then coming out of halftime, he was decisive off it. They were decisive. It didn't work right away. And, to the credit of the team, we stuck with it. And if teams are going to play us like that, then we're going to take what they give us. The other thing it does for you is we offensive rebounded tonight, because if they're scrambling around like that, you get free runs to the glass. You're shooting a lot of threes. Those are long rebounds. Those were huge plays for us. So, like I said, we're going to get played a lot of different ways this season. We don't know what an opponent's going to do coming into the game. It took us a minute to figure that out tonight, but we got better as the game went on and took a step forward, in our season too. We're going to see this again at some point.
And just one more thing with regard to that, you would hope play meaningful games down the stretch of the season, play meaningful games in the playoffs. What does it do for a team to just sort of have to calculate to figure some stuff out that can serve them down the road?
Yeah, we're getting. I don't know the numbers on this, but as I said before, I said it in December, and I would double down on it now. We're not getting like base coverages very often. We're getting some version of a plan B by our opponents. Whether it's the cross matching, the zone, what we saw tonight. We're seeing something different every night. And at the end of the day, if you have a good offense and potent players like we do, that's going to happen, and these games are allowing us to learn these attacks and get comfortable with the discomfort of alternate defenses, and I thought tonight was a great example of that, because it was uncomfortable early. The guys stayed together, they problem solved together, and we got better as the game went on.
Wiggins he didn't mind stepping in and making those shots. It's one thing to get him, but he kind of led that surge coming back from 23.
Yeah, he was huge. He and Chet are two guys that, we've encouraged to shoot more open threes because of how well they shoot it and what it does for our offense. And Wiggs has done a great job of turning that up lately without hunting, and shooting bad ones. He's just finding more good ones like tonight. And Chet did a great job of stepping into him as well. And so those guys, they made big ones. Wiggins to cut into that lead, and then Chet obviously down the stretch had some huge shots.
And when things aren't going well, What's the mood of the team? I mean, are they still pushing it? Do you have to kind of push them to keep going? Because a lot of shots are just in and out, and the league go to 23. I mean, but there's a lot of time left.
Yeah, some teams are kind of together and happy when things are good, and then they detach when there's adversity. And we've got a group of guys. The chemistry of the team is real because as the games get harder, they tend to connect more and problem solve together. And I thought tonight was a great example of that. You know, the game was not going our way on either end. Easy to pack it in, point fingers, try to do it ourselves, and we did quite the opposite. You know, coming out of halftime, they showed confidence in each other, showed confidence in themselves. Problem solve together. And like I said, the best part of that, the sneaky thing about that is we started that way out of the half and it didn't work, you know, and Toronto extended the lead to 23, and yet we were persistent with it together. And I thought that was really impressive by the team.
In the first half, it seemed like they were doubling Shea a little higher than teams normally do. And when he would kick it out, led to a lot of threes, and it seemed like just we're missing it. Second half, that seemed to change. And you mentioned how they were being more decisive. Was it just ball falling in the second half, or was
no? I thought he helped us create a little more rhythm in the second half. Like I thought he got off it earlier, and he was more decisive, moving it out of there. And then I thought that in turn made everybody else a little more decisive. It gave us more time to attack against a scrambling defense, and gave us time to get it back to him on some plays and give him kind of a second crack at it when the defense is already jumbled up. So, like I said, it wasn't the first half. The defensive end wasn't good enough, but the offensive end, you know, we were just kind of figuring it out. And halftime, everybody got on the same page. We came out of halftime together, looking to problem solve it. Didn't work right away. We stuck with it and got better and better as the game went on.
And then you started Shea, start the fourth quarter. It wasn't for much time, but what'd that do for you guys?
We just had the ball. And, you know, certain nights, I just think it's a good idea, you know, try to get him, use his gravity in some way and then get him a quick sub. And that was what I was thinking. If you told me that we were going to go into double overtime, I would not have done that.
40 assists tonight for you guys. I mean, obviously the first half, the shot wasn't falling, but that second half, it just seemed like the fall. But what did you like about the ball movement because I mean, when you get down, it's easy to just throw up a lot of shots and not continue to move the ball. But
Same thing. I mean, 40 assists is a big number, and that's on a night where we didn't shoot it well in the first half. We really trusted the pass, trusted each other, and you know we can't control how the defense is going to play us. And if they're going to play us like that, and we're going to get open threes, we need to move it out of there and generate those. And the guys did a great job of that tonight, obviously.
Mark, you mentioned